Jana Duggar and Stephen entered a completely new chapter of their lives today as they welcomed a baby boy in a hospital, a development that quietly but firmly reshapes how many people understand Jana's long and often misunderstood journey. For years, her name has carried layers of expectation built not by her own words, but by public assumptions, family reputation, and the unusual environment in which she grew up. Today, that narrative shifts from speculation to reality, from questions to presence, from waiting to becoming. According to information shared by those close to the situation, the birth took place earlier today under professional medical care, with Stephen by Jana's side throughout the process. While no formal announcement has been released, the consistency of accounts has led to widespread acceptance of the news. What makes this moment especially striking is not only the arrival of a child, but the calm, grounded way in which it appears to have happened. There has been no rush to the spotlight, no immediate public framing, no attempt to control perception. Instead, there is simply the fact of a new life and two adults stepping into parenthood together. To fully understand the significance of this moment, it is necessary to reflect on Jana Duggar's place in public consciousness over the years. She was often described as the one who stayed behind, the dependable presence who held things together while others moved on. That description, repeated often enough, hardened into an identity assigned rather than chosen. What was rarely acknowledged was the emotional complexity of that position, or the possibility that a life unfolding quietly is still a life moving forward. The birth of Jana's son reframes her story in a way that words never could. Motherhood, especially when entered on one's own terms, has a way of clarifying agency. It centers decision-making, responsibility, and emotional investment in a deeply personal way. Analysts who study adulthood transitions note that becoming a parent often solidifies a person's independence, not because it isolates them, but because it requires clarity about values, boundaries, and priorities. In this sense, the birth is not simply an addition to Jana's life, but a declaration of authorship over it. Stephen's presence during the birth has also been widely noted. While he has remained largely private, those familiar with him describe a partner who prioritizes steadiness over attention. In contrast to the highly visible family environment Jana was raised in, this quieter dynamic stands out. Media experts suggest that individuals emerging from high-exposure backgrounds often choose privacy deliberately, especially when it comes to children. Protecting a newborn from becoming a public symbol can be an intentional act of care rather than secrecy. Public response to the news has been emotionally layered. Many have expressed genuine happiness, noting that they never doubted Jana's capability, only the freedom she had to choose her own path. Others have responded with introspection, recognizing how easily long-term narratives can obscure real human growth. For some viewers, this moment has prompted reconsideration of how patience, timing, and personal readiness matter more than meeting external expectations. From a psychological perspective, the transition into motherhood can be particularly powerful for women who spent much of their early adulthood in caretaker roles. While caring for siblings and managing household responsibilities builds resilience, it does not replace the experience of parenting a child who is unequivocally one's own. Mental health professionals emphasize that such transitions can be both joyful and emotionally complex, offering opportunities for healing, self-discovery, and intentional change. There is also an educational message embedded in this story. Jana Duggar's experience challenges rigid timelines that society often imposes on women regarding marriage and motherhood. Her journey demonstrates that fulfillment is not delayed simply because it arrives later. Instead, it can be deepened by maturity, self-awareness, and choice. For viewers who have felt out of step with societal expectations, this moment offers reassurance that there is no single correct sequence for a meaningful life. The hospital setting of the birth has drawn attention as well. In families where tradition once strongly influenced such decisions, choosing a medical environment can reflect trust in professional expertise and a commitment to safety. Health educators note that these choices often signal confidence rather than defiance, illustrating how individuals adapt values to fit their own circumstances rather than inheriting them unchanged. Emotionally, the arrival of a son introduces a future shaped not only by love, but by intention. Children born into families with complex histories often become catalysts for reflection and recalibration. Observers have expressed hope that Jana's child will grow up with greater privacy and autonomy, free from the weight of public expectation. That hope reflects a broader cultural shift toward recognizing the importance of consent and boundaries, especially for those who did not always have them. As the news continues to circulate, The family's decision to remain largely silent has been interpreted by many as a sign of control reclaimed rather than avoidance. Communication specialists emphasize that choosing when to speak is an important aspect of personal agency. In a media landscape that often demands immediate access, restraint can be a powerful statement. Analytically, this moment alters the broader narrative surrounding the Duggar family. It moves the focus away from static roles and toward individual evolution. Jana Duggar is no longer defined by what she did not do or how long she waited. She is now recognized for what she has created and the life she is building. At a deeper level, this story invites viewers to practice empathy. It encourages celebration without intrusion and curiosity tempered by respect. The most meaningful response to this news is one that honors both the joy of new life and the right of a family to experience it without performance. As the day comes to a close, one reality stands unchanged. A baby boy has been born, and with him comes possibility unburdened by past assumptions. Jana Duggar and Stephen welcoming their son today is a reminder that growth is often quiet, that transformation does not always announce itself, and that new beginnings can emerge even after years of stillness. It is not a story of catching up, but of arriving exactly when the moment is right. In the end, this is not just a personal milestone, but a human one. It speaks to resilience, to choice, and to the enduring capacity for renewal. As observers, the most thoughtful role we can play is to allow this story to continue unfolding with dignity, patience, and care, recognizing that some chapters are most meaningful when they are lived before they are explained.